The channel is still a small fish in the ocean that is YouTube, but a follower has already told me to be cautious and to look for alternatives like a backup channel, Minds.com or BitChute. And it didn't take long. And we've already had the appearance of the first FOT on the channel, or better yet, the thread FOT. Congratulations, the Inherizzle. Now, notice how the comment doesn't have any arguments. It's empty. This is the level of mediocrity you have to expect from the modern woman. Now, also notice how, even though she's not a feminist, she still had to comment on a YouTube video to defend feminism and the feminist lifestyle. That's the crux in the matter. Labels don't mean anything. A woman might not use the feminist label, but she'll still want to defend the lifestyle and all the privileges brought by feminism. She'll defend them both in the social arena and in the political arena through her vote when she goes to the polls. She might not be a feminist, but she'll still defend things like abortion with no rights for men, divorce with alimony and custody guaranteed only to women, and all the protections, welfare programs, and affirmative actions that discriminate against men, both the ones that exist now and those that will be proposed in the future. She'll act like a traditionalist, saying she's not like other women, but when it comes time to stab a man in the back and loot society both financially and morally, she won't think twice or feel any remorse. She'll come up with a story in her mind that absolves her of any guilt. In the last century, ever since women started voting, they've had several opportunities to choose between equality and preferential treatment. And every time they chose the second option. This time won't be any different. For a man to have the right to vote, he had to enlist in the army. Women got the right to vote handed to them on a silver platter. Let me make this very clear. This is the first and only time I'm going to respond to conservative, traditionalist, realist men, and to women, whether they're feminists or not. Visit the channel for men, MGTEL. I have absolutely no interest in interacting, arguing, or debating with you. That's a waste of my time, and I have nothing to gain from it. You're the ones who still haven't understood how serious the situation is. This is not a negotiation table. You have nothing that MGTO men want. You have no bargaining power whatsoever. The men's rights movement tried to argue and negotiate with you for decades. And the only thing they got was being ignored and ridiculed. It was a complete failure. It was only from the moment it emerged. When MGTOW and men started saying that as long as the rules don't change, we're not going to get married, we're not going to have kids, that's when people started to get scared. That's when women started pretending not to be feminists, because it's a label that scares men off, so they'd rather camouflage themselves. And in those same decades of the men's rights movement, men gradually lost any rights they had in marriage or fatherhood. All the power was put in the hands of women. And they used that power to destroy families and communities. And by the end of that period, women decided to abandon men for good and marry the government, making society more and more socialist. I'm going to explain in detail so you can understand. I am a free man. I have no interest in marriage or fatherhood. Even before I learned about the MGTOW philosophy, I realized something was wrong and I didn't fall into those two traps. Just because of that, before turning 40, today I live in my own place. I won't have to pay rent for the rest of my life. I have money in the bank to go years without working. Not to mention investments. Did you get it? Because I said no to marriage and fatherhood, my life is absurdly easier and more comfortable than that of other men. I have no trouble at all getting sex or female company, whether inside or outside of a relationship, but with each passing year, my interest in those two things decreases. I talk a lot about how Social Security is bankrupt, but I won't need old age benefits from INSS. Unlike women who spend their whole lives depending on men, whether through husbands, boyfriends, or the government. And also, like men who decide to get married and have kids, I won't have a lower life expectancy than women because I chose not to become the head of a family and sacrifice my health. You offer marriage and fatherhood to men, MG Tao, as if it were something positive. In reality, what you're doing is the same as taking a bunch of slaves who escaped the plantation and trying to offer them chains. Conservative and traditionalist men offer nothing but chains. They want men to take on responsibility for family and society in exchange for nothing. And women, it doesn't matter if they say they're feminists or not, they offer the chains along with their sex and fertility. But that same sex and fertility last about as long as milk left out of the fridge. Especially after the age of 30. Their looks start to fade, and men's interest in them starts to fade too. Again, just to wrap up, this is not a negotiation table. You have nothing that MGTO men want. This isn't even a war of the sexes, but a conflict of interests. We've already won the game before it even started. We didn't even need to make the first move. 我们往某新的月 You're already dead and you haven't even realized it yet. Or you refuse to see it because you have an illusion of power. You think you still have some power in society while society itself is just falling apart. You've already understood how serious the situation is. We don't need you. We don't need society. It's you and society that need us. Whether it's for the traditionalists' plan or for the plan of the feminist or non-feminist woman. The traditionalist who wants us to support society, and the women who want us to support them. We don't need you. It's you who need us. And we simply decided to say no.